All right, y'all. Two peas in a bong in the building again. It's your boy DP,
It's your boy KP.
and Bong will be with us in spirit as always when he's not on. Possibly in the chat also, so we'll see. Um,
I'm gonna shout out Nerdy Jerks, man. Shout out to Nerdy Jerks for my fresh tea. The mama I made it. If you know, you know.
hey man, I had a crazy story about that. I was wearing that shirt one day, and I think I told you. This dude saw it and was like, "Oh, uh, I used to be a donor." And I
Oh
looked,
yeah.
and I forgot I had the shirt on. I looked at him like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I didn't say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's
But
what
I
your
kinda
face
looked
said
like,
it
"What the
though. Your
fuck?"
your face said it.
And then he kinda pointed at the shirt. I said, "Oh, okay." But in my mind, I was like, "Motherfucker, I wasn't a donor." But anyway,
Hey, there's a Netflix series on that. It's a special. Um, it's like a man that has over 1,000 children. He's got them all over the
I
world,
think I
man.
saw that.
Yeah,
I think I saw that.
blonde hair, long hair, dude, man. Oh man, yeah,
Hey, y'all, but if you looking for that shirt, nerdyjerks.com. The
absolutely.
idea behind it is not spreading babies all over the place or, being a donor or nothing like that. And no shot at whoever does that. But the idea behind it is, you know, that I made it. Like through the struggle, through the grind, you always hear that phrase, Mama, I made it, but that's a little play on Mama, I made it. You know
Well,
what
nah,
that is between the little squiggly joint between
yeah,
there. You know what it is, man.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Mama, I made it.
it's a,
I'm,
it's
I'm
a,
here.
it's a,
Uh,
you know, those of y'all who get offended about it, so what?
Too bad.
Nerdyjerks.com though, go ahead and check it out. Um, but yeah, man. So, man, you had a lot on your mind, man, about some things that have gone on in college basketball. So let's get to it.
We talking about the men or the women's side first?
Uh, let's talk about Juju, man. Let's go with Juju first with the injury,
Oh
man.
man,
Um,
very unfortunate, man. That was a very unfortunate situation. Juju's driving to the basket against, believe it was
Miss,
Ole Miss,
Mississippi State,
Mississippi State.
Mississippi
She's
State.
driving to the basket.
Hmm.
It's a home game. Crowd is hyped, and she gets fouled,
Yeah.
and she goes down. And my sons were actually at the game, and I asked them. They said the air was sucked out the arena.
Mm.
Everyone was like, "Oh no, please no."
Yeah.
And what everyone's biggest fear was a knee injury, and that's what it ended up being, a torn ACL.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the way they carried her off, man, you kind of
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
it was
You
gonna
you
be.
hate to see stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Hate to see
Yeah.
stuff
And
like
I mean, teams sometimes rally for a player in a situation like that. I mean, she's obviously their best player.
yeah.
Um, and that game, Mississippi State was still, just overmatched. They lost the game, or should I
Yeah,
say, USC won the game 96-59.
yeah,
So they took care of them. But they'll be playing Kansas State next.
mm,
Um, I'm not sure because I'm not sure that USC will be able to win it this year. Now, I thought they could with Juju, but some episodes ago when we were talking, I said it was kind of weak that they put USC and UConn in the same bracket. So if they keep winning, they'll eventually end up facing UConn, and I'm not sure that they have enough to take
yeah,
UConn out without Juju.
yeah. Absolutely. And so, one thing we didn't say was the score was 13-3. I mean 13-2 when Juju went down, and they just sustained the lead. Kiki had a monster game.
Yeah,
monster
she's a
performance.
beast.
It was good to see her play well. It
Yeah.
it, it really was. And then
And did
some
she
of the
transfer from
yeah, she transferred from
Stanford?
Stanford. Yeah,
Stanford? Okay.
yeah, she transferred from Stanford. So, but to your point, as far as replace, you can't replace a 24-6 scorer, National Player of the Year, Big Ten Player of the Year,
Mhm.
consensus, unanimous McDonald's All American. You're not going to replace that. You can't. She's the only player on the USC roster to play 30 or more minutes this year,
Mhm.
average 30 minutes a game this year. So you can't. I will say USC does have a really good freshman class
Mhm.
um, with Kennedy. You got Kennedy Smith. You got
Samuels.
no, Samuels is a sophomore.
Oh, Samuels is a sophomore.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got Avery Howell, and then you got K9. So you do have a good freshman class with them. Um, and then Samuels is a hound defensively. Like
Yeah.
she really gets after it. And ironically, Samuels has torn her ACL twice. She's torn both her ACLs, her left and
Mhm.
her right. And I mean, you know, that should be a sign of encouragement to
Mhm.
Juju
Mhm.
that she will be able to come back and still play at a high level, seeing as her teammates went through it twice and is still a key contributor to that team.
Did you say Heckle?
Yeah, I called
Kaylee
her
Heckle?
K9.
K9? Okay. Yeah.
That's her name.
She she is
She's savvy,
she
man.
it man, man.
She's savvy.
When yeah, when she gets in the game, dog, it's like she gets busy. She gets
Yeah,
to it. Like
yeah,
she's one of those people who makes like an immediate impact.
yeah, yeah. She's
So,
savvy. Very,
but
very.
yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not saying that they have absolutely zero no chance, but it's gonna be tough when they get to UConn. I think they'll make it to UConn. I think they
I
can make it to UConn.
I think the next round is going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have enough to push through and get to UConn. That's
I
my
mean,
prediction. But
the thing is we don't know what USC looks like without her, and everything was so Juju based. Everything ran through her.
and
So
that's
now,
why I say the game that they just had, like the game they played without her,
uh
like sometimes when players like rally around something like that, the
mhm,
energy could have gone in because of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this
yeah,
game because we can't go out,
absolutely,
like that. And
absolutely,
now, when things settle down and all of that kind of stuff, you'll really see like what the game plan is
yeah.
like going forward. But I mean, dog, I think I'm not gonna say zero chance. I know in the chat I was like, they're done. I told y'all, I said they're done.
I mean,
But
I'm
I
rooting
don't
for
know.
them. I'm rooting
Yeah,
for
me too.
them.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I want to see them pull it off.
Yeah, me too.
And
Um,
that would be a cool matchup, them and UConn, because that was the elite matchup the year before.
yeah, I mean, and I get it, and that's kind of why I was like, man, put them in a different bracket.
Yeah.
So, you have that build up like, uh-oh, are they gonna meet in the championship? They met in the Elite Eight last year and all that stuff, but it
South
is
Carolina,
what it is.
and man, South Carolina is steamrolling, man. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be hard for any of them to beat South Carolina. And Bong right on time saying,
Oh, Bong says Bong says they are done. Um, yeah, man, I that was my initial thought, Bong, and then I was like, let me think about this. And yeah, I don't know. That's what I initially told y'all though, but I don't know. Go SC. Hopefully they can make something happen. But just really, really, we've been talking about Juju lately.
Mhm.
Um, and just how big of a star she is out here, and that's just a big hit to that program. Um, and hopefully she'll have a speedy. and full
Yes.
recovery. More
Yeah.
importantly, the full part.
My
Emphasis on the full part.
my question to you: does she come back next season, or does she sit a full year like Paige Beckers did?
Um, Obviously, those injuries are case by case.
Yeah.
Um, it will depend on, where she is. Right now we're in March, which, gives her, I would say, after surgery, she probably has to sit for what? No weight bearing on it. Maybe like,
6 weeks,
I
something
was
like
gonna say
that.
a month to
Yeah.
6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. Which means her rehab would start maybe like May,
No, it's gonna
June.
rehab will start. Well, she'll be
I'm
doing.
saying the
Okay,
weight
okay, okay,
bearing stuff.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, she'll be doing range of motion and movement and stuff
absolutely,
like that. Like
absolutely.
absolutely that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying like where she actually starts to step on it. Um, that will start probably like Mayish, I would
Mhm.
say. When is her surgery?
Ooh, I don't
So,
know. No, I
that
don't.
that it depends on that too. Whenever the surgery actually takes place,
Hmm.
then probably about six weeks from there. I'm assuming they probably get the surgery done within the next week or two. Um, I don't know, man. She could make it. She could come back. Maybe not sitting out like Becker's did.
She's precious cargo. So I'd like to see her take the year off because of the expectations that she has on her once she comes back. When she comes back, it's no bringing her back slow. Once she's coming back, it's her junior year and potentially her last year of college. So
Yeah,
I
but we talked about the women um side of the game and how they just stay. You had Caitlin Clark who stayed. You had Angel Reese who stayed. They didn't leave early. You have Beckers stayed. She didn't leave early. So would Juju leave early? You think she's gonna leave after?
I
I
think
was here's what I would give you.
mhm.
Had she not been injured,
Yes.
then I might be saying, okay, she may be one who you see leave
Yeah,
after
that's
the
yeah,
three
I would have
years.
thought exactly.
Now that she's injured now, I
Yes.
don't know that. Number one, I don't know if she does what you're thinking as far as staying out for a full year. And number two, even if she comes back early or sits out the year, she may just play out all of the college years.
Mm.
I mean, what does she have to rush to the WNBA for? You know, like she's a star in college. She's well taken care of. She's making money. I saw and me and my daughter were sitting just looking at some stuff because we were talking about NIL stuff, and this was just what they say was accounted for. It's like 3/4 of a million. So so that's what they say is accounted for. So
Hmm.
750K at least.
Yeah.
Like she's not hurting for money,
No, she's
you
not.
know. So I mean, and then you would
Let me say this. Hopefully, she's
well,
not.
well, yeah, you
Yeah,
would think,
hopefully,
you would think.
hopefully she's not.
But I'm saying like uh we're all outside looking in, so we don't know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
these are all
yeah,
assumptions, right?
yeah.
And I'm just saying on the basketball side, because everybody's talking about NIL and money and all of that kind of stuff. That's like the first thing everybody talks about when it comes to college sports now. And I know we're gonna get into some of that later. But on the basketball side though, um she has a chance to like cement her legacy as possibly the greatest women's basketball player ever if she you know you would have hoped that SC could have went and won a championship this year, right?
Yeah.
And then it would really be like, okay, well, if Juju and SC could run off a couple more, now we talking about her being, you know, the greatest. If she consistently
Wow.
scores and all of that kind of stuff,
And there are a lot of
there's a
women
right.
that
There's
came
a
through
lot.
USC.
There's a lot.
Tina
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes. Lisa
Lisa
Leslie.
Leslie, Cheryl,
Leslie, I'm
Cheryl,
sorry,
yeah,
Cheryl Swoop.
No,
I mean
Cheryl
Cheryl
Miller.
Miller. Cheryl, I'm
Yeah,
saying Cheryl. I'm all over the place. Cheryl Miller.
Pam
Che-
McGee.
Cheryl Miller was just on uh what's the name? All the Smokes
Hey,
podcast.
shout out to Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl. I heard
Yeah.
what she said.
He was on
Shout
all
out to
he was on
Cheryl.
all the Smokes podcast. Um but yeah, but aside from that, that's USC. But you think about all the greats in just the basketball game, period,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, who would have an argument
Oh,
for that. And
absolutely.
then you start reeling off all the names of the women who went to UConn.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And now I will say Cheryl Swoops, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So and where was Swoops in was she at Houston or I gotta look and see where did
yeah. Don't
hold
give
on.
me
I
don't
don't
don't get me to lying, brother.
yeah, I don't wanna
Don't get me to
or was
lying.
it Texas?
Texas sounds more accurate.
Texas
Tech,
Tech. I want to say
Houston doesn't sound
Texas.
accurate.
I want to say yeah. I know it was I know it was a Texas. I think it was Texas Tech, but let me double check.
She played for Houston, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
comment.
I think it was Texas Tech. Hold on. You know, we got to verify.
Absolutely.
It was Texas Tech.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Okay.
Um, but she did a JC year.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Wow.
South Plains South Plains College,
Okay.
and then went
Where's
to
South, is
Texas
that
Tech.
Iowa? Is where's South Plains? I wonder if South. Nah, it don't matter.
No, that's Texas.
Oh, South Plains in Texas. Okay.
She's a Texas.
Oh, through and through. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She was born in Texas. I knew she was Texas bound. I'm saying Houston, but I was wrong about the college. But I knew she was full on like Texas bound. That's crazy because then played for the Comets. So
Yeah.
she
Won them
just
championships.
all Texas. So shout out to her. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean, but then you know, every I don't want to say every modern girl's goat, as people
Mhm.
say. They always say, you know, so and so's the goat, like people say like
The
Paul
Aries.
George is their
Yeah.
goat and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But when I think about UConn, I'm thinking
Come on,
Maya Moore.
DT. Oh, I thought you was gonna say DT.
I'm
There's no
thinking
way.
I'm thinking Maya Moore.
Whoa, over Diana Taurasi?
I'm saying when people say they're goat,
I, I,
have you heard these kids? I said how
oh, okay.
people
You talking about
say when Paul
okay,
George,
okay,
how they
okay.
say Paul George is their goat. You'll hear a lot of people say Maya Moore is their goat. Like, oh, Maya Moore was my favorite player. I modeled my game after Maya Moore. There's a lot of people who talk about Maya Moore. I think even Caitlin Clark was talking about Maya Moore.
My
But yeah, I mean, as far as like the goat of women's basketball, yeah, people were talking about
I
Diana
was
Taurasi.
saying UConn as well, but shit, Maya Moore was on that 112. How could you throw it all away? Gave up that career for love, boy.
Oh man. Oh man.
But
This
I'm,
dude, this dude.
now I will tell you though, what I would like to see with Juju is I'd like to see Juju take a medical red shirt, come back 2 more years, so finish, play 4 years at USC, cement your name, cement your legacy, get your coins. By the time you finish, I believe it'll be the 2027-2028 season. So you win a national championship, you get drafted first to the WNBA, and then you make the Olympic team and bring in the Olympics in Los Angeles on the on the USA basketball team. That's what I want to see for you.
Hmm.
Remember, I was saying this about Caitlin Clark. I wanted to see Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team this past last year,
Yeah.
and she didn't make the team, and the women did their thing. And so, my biggest philosophy is when the team wins, you can't say
Not
anything.
much you could say.
Yeah, you can't say
Yeah,
anything. They won.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, now that's out the window. There's water under the bridge. It happened. We're moving forward.
Well, you could say something. It'll just be,
On deaf
your
ears.
your complaints will be scrutinized because it's like,
Absolutely.
wait a minute, what you mean? We just you criticizing us, but we just won the gold or we just won a
Yeah.
championship.
What's the objective here?
Yeah. You trying to win or you want to,
You want people
so
please.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So yeah, so I want to see that. I want to see your city year, play the 2 years, and then make USA basketball, and then go on and rep for for the United States in your hometown of Los Angeles.
Hmm. Okay. I mean,
Be like, damn, not a bad idea.
no, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's definitely in the realm of possibilities, especially
Yeah.
given what just happened. So, um, I wouldn't be surprised if she does sit. But again, I'm thinking that it's more of how does she feel? How's her rehab going? Um, and she may just, you know, be
I mean,
ahead of schedule and jump right
look,
back in.
look, man. The 76ers were medically redshirting people in the NBA. They did it with Ben Simmons. They did it with Markel Fultz. They were doing it with MB. They're still redshirting people, if you will.
And what the hell are you using them as an example for? Because it has not worked out for them.
I'm just saying they were doing medical red shirts on the pro level.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I'm
I'm
saying.
asking you, what
Hey,
is that? You want to bring up? You trying to talk about a path for success for Juju, and
no, 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 no.
you bringing
I'm
up
just
the Philadelphia
uh, we
76ers
just
and
talking
them
about medical
redshirt?
red. We just talking about medical red shirts right now, man.
I would leave them out. I would leave them out of the discussion. Like, So, but yeah, I mean that what you said before you brought up Philadelphia, I think is not it wouldn't be a bad like plan,
Yeah.
for her. But it's gonna be about how she feels, dog. Um, you know,
It's when you leave it in the hands of the players, though, and you know this because you've dealt with injuries, not severe like that, but players always want to play. You have to sit a player down and let them know, like, look, this is not what you should be doing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and
Well, I didn't deal with an injury
yeah,
severe like that while I was playing.
yeah.
Um, you
Oh
know,
yeah, absolutely.
but after,
Yeah.
shit, I when I tore my Achilles, I still wanted to get out and do shit. And had I done it when I was playing, then I would have been itching to get back out there. Like, no, no, I feel cool, even though, I'm probably not 100%. So you're right. You can't leave it up to the player.
You know what, DP? You got to tell the people what you did after you tore your Achilles, because everybody has these stories. Like they talk, Kobe talks about how he was wiggling his foot and stuff, and then he went and he knocked down 2 free throws and then walked to the sideline, and everyone was like, man, that's heroic. And I remember Richard Sherman said when he tore his Achilles, he saw Kobe, and so he knew he had to get up, being a football player. But your situation was
Hey,
different because you weren't a professional athlete.
hell no.
But you got to tell the people what you did, man, because it's crazy what you did. Especially
So
looking back.
I didn't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, everybody was looking at me like with the wide eyes, like, because I just fell in the middle of the court and I was looking behind me like I thought I got clipped. So I'm
Hmm.
like, what the fuck? And then when I realized like nobody was there, I was like, oh shit. So I stood up and I tried to put some weight on it and it felt funny. And I'm like, oh fuck. So I just kind of before I even stood up, I had slammed my hands on the ground like fuck, because I knew it was something. But when I started walking, It just felt like something was missing. So I tied my shoe tighter and I just kind of walked and I knew I couldn't run. So I walked up and down, walked outside, and then I said, you know what, I just gotta go. So I walked to the car, but in KP, I'm not making this up because
Yeah.
I had a Camry and it was a manual transmission. So I drove myself.
The 2 foot driver.
Yeah, I drove myself. I'm hitting the clutch and the gas and the brake, all that, and I'm just driving all the way. I think I was in Linwood
Mm-hmm.
and I drove back to the house. So that's probably like a 25
25
minute
minutes. Yeah.
drive or something like that.
Yeah.
But then I went from my house afterwards, I went down to downtown pretty much California Hospital, which is by, USC. And I drove myself there.
I
And
think we were talking on the phone when you got home. You're like, man, I think I messed up my Achilles. I got to go to the hospital.
hey,
Like,
uh,
I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, yeah. Um, I went to the hospital,
Hmm.
walked in the hospital,
Yeah.
and they did the little clinical test and all that stuff, and then they said they had to go in and do um the MRIs and all that, take a look, and they were like, yeah, it was torn, and told me that I needed to I schedule
Emergency.
the surgery. Yeah, I need to go
Emergency
ahead and schedule
surgery.
the surgery. And I just went in that night and had the surgery the next morning, and
Yeah.
that was it. But even with that, like rehab with that, they were saying, I was ahead of schedule compared to a lot of the other people that they had in there, you know. I mean, but that's when you're an athlete, and I'm not saying I was, NFL, NBA, or shit like that, but we played and stuff, and played in high school, played in college, and all of that stuff. So like, you're not just a regular, you know,
Joe, it counts for
regular Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You got some athletic ability, but yeah. So mine wasn't just wiggling my toes and walking, but part of that was because, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. What was
Yeah.
I supposed to do? Stay at the goddamn park? Like I had to get back to the crib. Who's any of y'all driving stick? Like
Yeah.
pause. But
Yeah.
like, nah. I just my mind was just like, gotta go, gotta get it done. So I was just on the move.
Yeah. The
You
people
say you
needed
thought that was crazy? I never even thought about it,
that.
dog.
That no, that is. I mean, like, listen, man. You've seen professional athletes. You've seen when they've had these severe injuries. Dog, you
Yeah.
got in a car and drove yourself home with a ruptured, with a torn Achilles.
Yeah, I was walking a lot too.
Yeah, like that. That's crazy. Like I thought mine was something. I popped my kneecap out of socket. I
Yeah,
dislocated my
I
patella
remember that.
and had to drive home. I had to drive like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And but it was my left leg. So I got it in the car, but I'm not moving it. It's hurting, but I'm
Yeah.
not moving it.
Yeah.
But nah, man, to hit the clutch and everything else, nah, nah.
Yeah, it was my right
Oh, so
leg
your
too.
foot's on the gas. So
Yeah.
your foot is at a slant.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Yeah,
foot has to that so when you that foot has to hit the gas,
yeah.
um, you know, and then go to the brake. You got to hit the clutch. Like those of y'all who know how to drive a manual, you know what you got to do when it comes to that. So yeah, but yeah, that was I was on the gas, man. But all that to say, I would have been trying to get back in the game as soon as I could. So I get what you're saying with the don't leave it up to the player, because
Yeah.
the player is going to always say,
What?
"Man, I'm ready to roll." Um,
Case in point, man. My son, my son had an injury his freshman year. His freshman year tore his labrum, and he was complaining about his hip hurting. And he knew if he came to me as dad, I at that point I wasn't looking at it as a business. It's the philosophy, like, man, are you hurt or you injured?
right.
You halfway through the season, like, you're gonna be hurt. That's what happens. Um, and so he played through it, but it ended up being a torn labrum. and he probably shouldn't have played through it,
Yeah.
but he did. So yeah, you can't leave it up to the players
Yeah.
because the players will play.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Players gonna play, ballers gonna ball,
Nah, nah,
rollers gonna roll. Niggas like, don't sing
no,
none of
no,
that.
no, no, no,
Don't
no.
sing
It's
none
not
of
that. No, no, it's not
that.
that. No, players gonna play, lovers gonna love. I don't even want none of the above. I won't do this on you.
Come on, man.
you
It,
got to hit with you got to hit with the Dave Chappelle, man.
this dude right here. This dude
Your
right here.
body, your body is a portal potty.
Hey, Dave Chappelle, the Chappelle show was classic, dog.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, but man, let's keep it rolling, man. So man, all well wishes to Juju, man, and SC. Like I want SC to finish strong, man. Keep it pushing. But Juju,
Get well,
I'm a
get well,
fan. So
get
I
well,
hope you have a full recovery.
and shout out to Watts. You like a fifth cousin, Juju, a fifth cousin. You
Yeah.
family.
Tell Jaden
Only,
Daniels' mama to help
no,
with some of that physical therapy.
I think she was pointing at the camera and just telling them where the cameras were.
Mm.
I think that's what that was. And I'm saying fifth cousin because it's the saying third cousin removed. I'm saying fifth cousin just in case one of my sons decide to shoot a shot. It ain't on no weird stuff because
She's
we
still
fifth
like
cousins.
she's still like that's disgusting.
Yeah, we're family. We're
Oh yeah, if we
we're
family,
cousins.
if we
We're
family,
cousins.
we family. Like yeah, like yo.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, engineer in the building. Say he got some. Hey man, as long as we could help in some way,
All
get
right.
your workout on,
Shout out
dog.
the engineer getting his workout on, man.
Yeah. Man, staying with the NCAA, but moving on to um go with the St. Francis thing you told me about.
Ah man, so St. Francis, a Division 1 team in the Northeastern Conference. They're FCS for football, but they're Division 1, 1A for basketball. They decided to go from being a Division 1 team to becoming a Division 3 team in the 2026-2027 season.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing with St. Francis, let me start by saying St. Francis men's basketball team has made it to the NCAA tournament twice. The first time was in 1991, and most recently was this year. They were
Hmm.
part of the 68 teams, and they were 3 points away from beating Alabama State. They lost by 2 at the buzzer on a long pass thrown to an Alabama State player,
Do
giving
you think
Alabama State their first berth to an NCAA tournament.
do you think that if that had not happened, do you think that would have changed their plans at all?
No,
Yeah, I don't think so.
no, they were. If you, I mean, you take a deeper dive into the team, they were 16 and 18.
Mhm.
They the Northeastern Conference only gets one automatic bid, and to get the automatic bid,
Got to
you have
win.
to win the tournament. Yeah, you got to win
And
the
and
conference
like you
tournament.
said, they had only done that twice. And it was
Yeah,
1991 before was the
yeah,
last time. So it had
yeah,
been a long drought, baby. That's longer than the Cowboys. And they ain't won in forever. So
yeah.
St. Francis, feel your pain.
And
Um,
so I mean, the St. Francis committee, the board actually said why they were going Division 3. They were citing the pay to play. They can't do the pay to play. They don't like the NIL situation. They don't like the transfer portal situation,
mhm.
and it's taking them away from um, their Catholic school
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
goals.
I'm glad you said that. So since you gave that, let me read off the politically correct uh reason why. So Father Malachi Van Tassel, Hopefully, I'm not butchering his name, but he's the president of St. Francis University, and this is what he said: "Quote: This strategic, mission aligned decision reflects our enduring commitment to the holistic development of our student athletes, supporting their academic pursuits, athletic excellence, and personal growth with a values based educational environment." End quote.
I got the
So,
violin. I'm playing the
hey,
violin.
hey, I'm just letting you know what
The violin.
Farva said.
Play the violin. You got to hold it on your chin. Play the violin, man.
Hey. Hey, but you know, before you go further, I looked at the football side
I did
because I
too.
was like, damn, is what's going on the
Are
football
they
side?
are
Do
they
they
winning?
suck?
Are they?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, so look, it's much like basketball.
You saw
They've
that losing
they've
record.
only qualified for the FCS twice.
Yeah, you saw
And
that losing
and,
record.
and, and the most recent qualification for them was 2022.
Hmm.
So, I mean, they had been in the Northeast Conference since '88, I think,
Hmm.
something like that. I mean, and there were teams like Robert Morris that was in it before. They had the most conference championships. They're gone. Where's Robert Morris now? Do you know? I
Ooh,
have to confirm that.
I,
But then
you're
I think
talking. I'll look it up.
Farley,
You're
I
talking.
think
Farley
Farley
Dickinson.
Dickinson was in
Yeah,
there too.
yeah.
Like,
Farley Dickinson's in there. They made the tournament a couple years ago.
yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
did. And it was probably because they won the
No,
conference championship.
not
It's
probably.
not probably that, yes, because they won the conference championship.
Yeah.
Um, the only way I can see that ever happening is if they have like a ridiculously stacked schedule and they just all of a sudden end up smacking all these teams, but that is like very far fetched. Um, but so man, some teams, you look at teams where they decide, all right, we're gonna go for the gusto and jump from D2 to D1, or we're gonna jump from this lower division conference to a
Everybody wants
bigger.
to go up.
Yeah,
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 yeah. They're like, man,
yeah,
fuck this, man. We
yeah.
we can't we can't hang, so we getting out of here. Cause look, this is no shot at anyone who's considering D3, because for one, you have to know what you want in life, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I'm speaking from like a student athlete's perspective. So you got to know what you want in life. And Division threes, just the idea behind Division three is that there's a more balanced um college life. So
Hmm.
the sports side of it is not supposed to be as demanding as, let's say, a high D2 or a Division 1 school would be, right? So when you're considering D3, you're considering more of a balanced type. Oh, I'm still, I want to focus on my studies, and I'm not going to say basketball or football would be, or track, or whatever your sport
The
is, that it would be
extracurricular activity.
extracurricular
Yeah.
or a hobby, but it would be probably a notch above that, because you're
Yeah,
still competing for, you
you
know,
are, but
championships and stuff like that. So it's not intramurals.
no, it's not.
I would say inter.
But what's the money looking like, Wayne? What's the DP? What's the money looking
See,
like?
well, there you go. You looking at the money again. See, I said I'm speaking from
No,
like the
no,
sports
no, no,
side
no,
of
no,
it.
no. I'm saying, are they giving out scholarships?
No, they don't. They
Okay,
don't. They
that
don't.
that yeah, that's
But
what I'm.
but but a D3 will look to pull resources to get an athlete as much, if not all, covered if it's possible. So they'll try to get you the academic scholarship and the outside source scholarship so you can be, taken care of.
But though
But no,
academics are first.
academic all. Well,
Absolutely.
for that's it.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
far as scholarship goes, there's no D3 athletic scholarships.
And to answer what you were saying, Robert Morris is in the Horizon Conference.
Okay, they're in the horizon. All
Yes.
right. Okay. Um man, so that I don't know. I can't say I'm mad at them if they know what's up and know what they want to do, and that's just not where they feel they'll compete best, and but that's not even going D2. You going D
Yeah,
three.
yeah, you went
You
all the way
like
down.
fuck it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
done.
Take it
But
all. Take it
but
all.
but but
Tear
but
it up.
so that reminds me though. That reminds me. Saint Francis College in Brooklyn
Hmm.
was also in that league with them, and they dropped out in 2023. They were the before they dropped out, they were the smallest college
Just one.
in Division 1,
Mm,
and they just completely dropped their athletic program.
damn.
So
We're losing money. We don't have enough
they-
students to support the students that are
yeah. So
playing.
I guess St. Francis University is like,
To the
because they're in
page.
Pennsylvania, they're
Yeah.
like, look, at least we ain't telling y'all we not gonna play at all.
That's
So,
that's funny. That
but I mean, this and it would be crazy to think about it because you're coming off of the heels of probably one of the most successful seasons that your basketball team
yeah,
has had, but
yeah,
it's not just about the basketball.
yeah.
So,
They got one more time. One more time to do this.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, to go from D1 to D3 is like, oh wow, what in the world? And the funny, my so I got an 11-year-old. My 11-year-old got the information first, so it dinged his phone, and he's
Yeah,
like,
like,
"What?"
what the heck? St.
Yeah,
St.
I'm like, "What are you
Francis is
talking
doing
about?" He's showing me. I'm like, "Oh man, what the?"
Oh man.
So we sit there
Uh
laughing about it, and the thing that I don't know if you remember, I always have the running joke where I'm talking about, man, I turned on the TV on ESPN Plus and was watching this bad basketball, and I always talk, the conference I always talk about.
Not Northeast.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
like, oh man,
anybody from the
I'm
Northeast is
like,
watching this like, man, fuck these niggas.
I'm
Nah.
like, I'm like, man, that Northeastern Conference, man, with you got like Merrimack, you got Wagner,
Look,
you
you
got
gotta look down. Go on
you
and
got
look down. Just
no,
tell
you got
look at the
you got
list.
Lemoyne. I,
Yeah,
I was
Lemoyne's
gonna
in there.
I was gonna say Farley Dickinson, but Farley Dickinson actually has a player this year that I really like. So shout out to him, Terrence Brown, Minnesota product. I remember
Mhm.
him. Yeah, he's pretty damn good. So I ain't gonna talk about you, Farley Dickinson, or
Yeah.
Fairly Dickinson.
Hey, it's too late, man. They all like, screw you.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
they got them little guards dribbling hard, hacking
en-
their way to the basket. Like, damn, shoot the jumper. I don't shoot the
engineer is
jumper.
on point with this. He says it's an ever-changing world. You gotta adapt. Yes. If you want to swim in that area, if you want to swim with the sharks,
No, if you want to stay in the shallow end. If you,
you going the opposite way.
yeah, they
I'm
went to the
saying if you
shallow
want to
end.
swim with the sharks,
Uh huh.
then you gotta adapt. If you want to go to the shallow end, that ain't adapting. That's
Yeah,
jumping ship. Like, we getting
yeah,
out of here
yeah.
completely. There's
Yeah,
no adapting to this. We gone.
we're gonna stay in the shallow end.
Yeah.
We're gonna
So,
go from the D1 to the D3.
man, but you were saying, where did you hear about them talking about the NIL and how they didn't like that and all of that stuff? Where did you see that
Oh damn. I did a Google search on it, and it took me to an article. So
okay.
damn.
No, it's all good.
Unfortunately,
I was just wondering.
yeah, I
Um
closed that article out.
because a minute ago I said that's the first thing people go to is the money and
Mhm.
NIL and all of that stuff. And I mean, you've actually had people cite like that's the reason why they don't want to fuck with the college game anymore. We were talking about um Nick Saban the other day, and that being the reason why he was like, fuck this shit. But there's somebody else that you have a bold prediction about that's in the college game, basketball specifically, that was kind
Mhm.
of on the main, not kind of on, but on the main stage just this last weekend.
Absolutely. That is no other than dun 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 University of New Mexico's coach, Richard Pitino.
Hmm.
I think Richard Pitino is outro.
Mm.
From what I've been seeing, his starting point guard has hit the transfer portal. His starting two guard has hit the transfer portal. His center was a senior, so he played his last game. There was another wing that played his last game. The only guy in that starting five that hasn't done anything yet, hasn't jumped ship, and has more years to play. He's a junior, so he's got one more year. Um, and he is an international student, so an international player. And so it's a little different for them when it comes to hitting the portal because international players don't necessarily receive NIL.
You know what else I heard about international players?
What's that?
Is that some of them who have played professionally overseas,
Mm-hmm.
when they come to the US and play in college, they move them forward a year. So like there's a I wish I remembered the article I was reading, but there's a guy who came over,
Mm-hmm.
never played college basketball before, but he played overseas, played professionally since he came over here. He didn't start as a freshman, he started as a sophomore. So
Mm.
I don't know if that's a rule, but
Wow.
I'll look into that and I'll let you know what it is, and maybe that's something we can talk about later on. But that was definitely a scenario, and it was for one of these colleges that's actually in the tournament. So
That sounds like he must have took some money, and instead of the instead of the money he was getting paid, so instead of that coming out, they're like, "Look, we're gonna scrap a year. Don't worry,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not gonna need all those years. We're just gonna get you over here and then go from there." Because
yeah.
no, because my son last year played with an international player
Hmm.
from Canada. Well, he actually had a couple. He had one from Canada. He had one from what was the other one from?
But were they all amateur sports, like no professional sports or anything like that, or did they play for an actual professional team?
Um, I don't think any of them play for a professional team.
Okay,
None of them play for a professional team. So they just one of them played in the states his last year, so he just kind of went from the states to college. The one from Canada though, he came from Canada, and there was one from Romania that came from Romania straight to the U.S. But they all came in as freshmen.
okay, okay. Um,
But
man,
back to what I was saying about
yeah,
Richard
yeah,
Pitino.
yeah.
Um, when you look at it on the surface, it just seems like your two guys that are starters, your starting backcourt, they just they want to go to a bigger conference. They played in the Mountain West. They've served their time, and now they want to maximize on their opportunities. And I get that, and I have no problem with them doing that. No quarrel with them doing that at all. I think the portal's a beautiful thing. But what I will say is, you gotta let's take a deeper dive. University of New Mexico for the past 2 years has made the NCAA tournament. They made it this year. They squeaked and made it in last year. They weren't going to make it, but because they won the Mountain West tournament, they got the automatic bid last year. So they got in last year, they got in this year. So that's back to back years they've made the NCAA tournament. So you've had the success there. You look at Richard Pitino, his contract goes to uh, the 28-29 season at the University of New Mexico. However, he doesn't get paid that much. He gets paid like 1.2 million. I think it's
Hmm.
a $40,000 increase each year. So they kind of got him on the low
Hmm.
right now, and he's having success. The other thing with Richard Pitino, and you look at his situation at New Mexico, he's got a very buyout friendly contract. His buyout is $375,000.
Hmm.
So that's like we've seen
That-
players.
they
We've
could
seen
ask one
coaches.
of the players, "Can we borrow 375? We know how your NIL looking. Can we borrow 375 so we could buy him out? We ready to move on."
Absolutely. So $370,000 buyout. Okay, so that's the other thing. And then you keep looking, and you look at some of the intriguing jobs that are open that he could possibly take. You got Xavier, that's in Ohio, that's in the Big East Conference, and you also have Villanova, that's in the Big East Conference, that's in Philadelphia. Um, and you have West Virginia, which I don't think he would move on to West Virginia, but I could see him looking at that Villanova job.
Mhm.
And who else is in the Big East Conference? There's a coach at St. John's with the last name Patino, first name Richard. Oh, that's his father. So, he'd be going against his father 2 to 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So I think that the move is coming. When you see players do something there's some situations, man, where coaches tell the players, "Hey, you know what? I may not be here too much longer." Or the
So you
players,
think he told them and that's why they're all jumping in the portal right now? Because
let me say this.
I
Let me say this.
asked you,
Okay, okay.
I did ask you, did you think those players would be moving into the portal? Specifically Dent.
And I want to rephrase something I said because I don't want it to sound misleading. So that's why I was trying to cut you off. I don't want to say that the coach is telling the player because that's illegal. Coaches can't tell players that they're leaving. You can't say, I'm going here, follow me here. You can't do that. That's illegal. So I don't want to even imply that Richard Pitino is doing anything illegal. Um, but I think that players understand, and just like there's a rumor mill with players, there's also a rumor mill with coaches. And players are, privy to information that the general public just doesn't know.
Yeah.
So I
So
so I believe that in looking at it, they're like, yeah, you look at the rest of the roster, it's not attractive once you get past certain guys, and that's no disrespect to the players. But you're trying to win, and it's like, yeah, you go get your money now. Go get your money while your name is hot.
question.
Yes.
Does entering the portal
Hmm.
does it give any indication that a kid will actually stay, or is that a move somebody would make regardless of whether they're testing the NBA draft or not?
I'm trying to think if I've seen a kid enter a portal and then stay at a school, just the same school. I know I've seen it. Damn, I don't remember the name of the player that did it. It's happened.
Okay. And
It's
then
happened. But you basically you enter the portal to open your options up and to keep everybody honest. So if the initial school that you're at, they can still offer you and they can
mhm,
still talk to you while you go and entertain other offers as well. Now, some coaches are like, man, it's I hate to compare it to it, but it's like the NBA. Some players will opt out and become unrestricted free agents
mhm.
to sign back with the same team, but they want to hear what their market value is.
What other
Exactly.
people want to
Yeah,
offer.
yeah. So it's the same thing.
Okay, so then I will ask you with Dent,
Uh huh.
do you think that he comes back to college or do you think he goes to the league?
I
Because we literally spoke about this,
we did
was it yesterday
yesterday or
or
two
the
days
day
ago.
before?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah.
that.
We I think you know what? I thought Dent was a little taller. I thought Dent was like 6'4". He's 6'2". Mm, I think Dent may come back and get a big bag. That's what I think. I think he
Hmm.
comes back and he goes to a bigger conference.
Okay, so you
And
think he's leveraging this to go to just a bigger school?
absolutely, and get paid more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm saying that goes hand in hand.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. So you've talked about the day old pizza, AKA I'm gonna throw one in there overcooking my grits.
Go.
You know.
Where's the love?
So
Where?
so so no, I'm asking, is he
Oh,
running the risk of that? Dent.
um, what
And
I
this is
think,
Dent for the University of New Mexico. This is who we're
what
talking about.
yeah, what I'd like to see Donovan Dent do is, I think that he should test the draft. If he hasn't done it already, go on and test the draft and see where you stand, see where they see you, see if they want you right now, where you're projected. I think he should do that before he just says, you know what, I'm not going to do that at all. I'm just going to find a school and go to the school. You
Mhm.
can look for the school at the same time that you're preparing to test for the draft. You can do both. Players do it all the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
And then Bong brings up a good point. He said Cody Epps did it once, which he's referring to tested the waters with the portal and then went back to the same school. And
yes.
that was at BYU, and that's for football. And he's now at Western Kentucky.
Mm,
So he transferred, and I think he has one more year of eligibility. Maybe, I don't know, maybe two, considering the rules you've been talking about, Kevin. But shout out to Cody Epps.
yeah,
I'm hoping he balls out this next year.
absolutely,
You know, so
absolutely.
and then we got engineer says, I don't know. Diggs just got like 70 mil. Desperate people pay desperate money.
There's a lot of overpaying going on in this industry,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's a
And
great thing for the players.
and before we got on engineer, we were like, there's a lot going on with football. So
Yeah,
no, that was just that Patriots deal with Diggs. Um and we were like, we gonna save it. We want to get Bong in on that combo.
absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, so Diggs. I was actually, and I'll just say this, I was wondering if and Bong, you're gonna be like, hell no, they wasn't. But I was wondering if the Cowboys are gonna have the brothers have a reunion and play together this next season.
Bong right now is pecking the keyboard. His fingers are bleeding.
I
He,
mean, he was out there,
a
but
lot.
it's I just know that the the price tag on the veteran receivers, it shot up. So it's like, do you want to pay that 15 mil a year for a guy, or do you just want to take your chances in the draft and find a second tier vet or something like that? And that's usually the Cowboys are going to go on the what saves the money. So no digs, but I see they're trying to get weapons for their young QB out there in New England. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes.
Just play that.
Bong says only if Diggs was willing to pay for play for pocket change, and that's, yeah, that's pretty. Hey, that says what I said about the Cowboys in other words, right? Only if Diggs was willing to pay for play for pocket change. Oh
Hey man,
no, hey
hey.
engineer,
What if it's hey,
it's all good, man. You
what
didn't
if it's
derail
the,
the combo.
what if it's the pocket change that that Eddie Murphy gave Mortimer and Randolph in Coming to America? What what if it's
Hmm.
that kind of pocket change? I mean, because Mortimer and Randolph was back.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know. The He says it's the kind of pocket change that candy gets stuck on in your pocket. Yeah. It's that hey, it's that kind of pocket change that gets discolored. You can't tell if it's a Chuck E. Cheese coin or a penny. I can't tell if this is
Oh,
money or a token.
if it's a
And
peso
Jerry
or a
like, "It's
token.
good. I'm good for it. You can use it anywhere."
Oh, oh man,
Nah, but, yeah, I mean, so, yeah, money is getting thrown around in the pros and in college. You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? So, but engineer, that is definitely something that we will be getting into, especially as we move closer to the draft. I was telling Bong and KP that the draft will be here. April is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? We got a week left in March. That draft is going to be here before you know it. So, hey, hey, look, he says Jerry Jones is like, you take EBT.
nah,
Hey,
nah.
he's like, hey, that's a provision in the contract. Like, we get you set up with all the restaurants that'll take EBT. We got you a card that's preloaded.
Nah.
We'll get your car wash, free car washes every Sunday.
Jerry's like, man, you know what? We're gonna run the training camp in El Paso this year, and we're gonna go a few miles south, and I'm gonna pay you guys. It's not gonna be in dollars, but you are gonna get a lot. He's paying them in pesos this year, man. Changed it to the El
The
Paso
The
Cowboys.
El Pesos.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
oh man. So, all right. So your prediction is back to the college situation. Your prediction is that Patino is out of there.
Yeah, he goes to the Big East.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
And does his dad retire at St. John's?
yeah. His dad retires at St. John's.
Okay.
You know,
Not
really?
this year, but he play.
No,
I'm saying he coaches his years out.
yeah,
He's going to
brother.
retire at St.
I
John's.
mean, listen, man. The HD TVs sometimes they help you.
Right.
It helped the look,
Or
and
hey,
sometimes
listen, man.
they hurt
Hey,
the
I'm not
look.
trying. Hey, listen. He's still out there getting it, but I said it looked like Patino got to suck some blood or something before
Yeah,
he get
yeah,
out there
Dracula. Yeah,
to, to
yeah,
coach. Like,
yeah,
I need
vampire.
my energy.
Yeah, my man, coach is
grab
really out
grab
for
a couple
blood.
of grab a couple of rats, like Interview with the Vampire. Like,
My bad. Patino's out for blood. I'm out for
oh
blood,
man,
y'all. And
damn.
that man, yeah, that HD boy. Oh man, seeing Patino in 4K is like,
Hey,
ooh.
hey. So, so we got that with college basketball.
Yeah.
Um, were there any other college basketball things that were on your mind? Except I know the portal, obviously, but we kind of talked about that yesterday, and you made your prediction. You said you think it'll be over 2,500
I
players.
just want to give an update. So I read on one site that it was seven. Oh, it was over 700 yesterday,
Okay.
and then I read on another. I saw something else that said it was over 900 entries into the portal
Mm,
yesterday.
mm.
Yeah. So
And question, this is for, so they do football and basketball. It's just NCAA. It's just, there's one date. So
no,
you'll
there's. What do you mean?
no, I'm saying as far as the portal opening.
It's different dates. So football is in the wintertime.
Correct. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So like, okay, so I'll give you this. In 2023, there were more than 175 that jumped in on the first day, and we thought that was a lot in 2023. 175 people in one day, and then in 2024, they broke the record with 291
Mm-hmm.
portal entries on opening day.
Mm.
Now it's over 900 on opening day.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You got play. Damn it! I didn't want to wear Adidas this year. Ugh.
Hey, man.
Portal.
Hey, that's a real
Portal.
thing. That's
I'm
a
in
real
the
thing.
portal.
Oh, listen, I will not. When I the first college I went to had Reeboks,
Oh man, I know your
and
feelings go up, man.
I was coming from a Nike high school,
Ah, yeah.
so I was like, oh, God, what have I done?
Why? Yeah,
Ooh wee!
yeah.
And we didn't even have the answers. We didn't even have
Ooh,
the Iversons. We just had some team Reeboks. Like, what is this?
you didn't have the questions or the
Hey
answers.
man, just
You,
give me just give me some chucks, man. I'll go out that way. Like,
you had a lot of questions. You like, man,
yeah, exactly.
what the?
What are we doing?
Hey man, we had shit on the
Hey,
JUCO level. We had the questions. No,
hey,
we had
but
the answers. We had the answers.
yeah, but then the next year we got Nikes.
Oh, so you was out.
Huh?
You was out. I'm
What
saying.
do you mean? No, no, I'm talking about what you said. JUCO, we had the first year we had Reeboks. Then the next year we got
Oh
Nike.
yeah, 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 yeah. But I thought
Yeah,
you were
what
talking
the
about
hell?
yeah. No,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no. Your first, no, your first year. I thought you were talking about a Davis.
yeah,
Yeah, you had the Reeboks. Okay,
yes.
okay. So, but you said in the
Hey man,
next year about the next
I'll be
year.
trying to have it remain nameless, man.
Oh
You
my bad, man. My
It's
bad.
all good.
My
It's
bad,
all
man.
good.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Um, but nah, yeah. And then the first year we had Reeboks in at JC, and then the next year we had
Yeah.
Nikes.
Hey man, that's because we was complaining about them damn Reeboks.
Hey,
I remember writing on the whiteboard, Reeboks make my feet hurt.
hey, but Lister came in like we got some real shoes. Remember that? Now we got some real shoes. You ain't gotta wear those Reeboks that mess up your feet.
That
Hey
is
man,
hilarious.
look, hey, Reebok, this is not a shout out, y'all. Hey man, shout out to Reebok. You know what I'm saying? Reebok, actually, if you're talking about the business side of it, they really they did Iverson right.
They did.
Yeah.
It didn't do my feet right, but they
Yeah.
did.
It
Man,
didn't do my feet right.
I mean, that's
But shout out to what y'all
listen,
did
man.
for Iverson. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't get toenail discoloration until I start putting them damn Reeboks on.
Oh, dog. Yeah,
I think you went through something like that.
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I think I might have lost a couple, man.
Oh yeah.
I had to take them off. Like that's the oh god. That is the worst, man. When you're like your big toenail dies, and then it's
Oh
like you
man,
got to
yeah,
take it off. Some people, people go to the doctor for that, dog.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just in there surgically removing it myself, like motherfucking Reeboks.
Yeah,
What?
man. Hey, man. I hadn't dealt with bloody toes until I was wearing the Reeboks, man. Reebok, Reeboks had toes bloody. You like, God dang,
Oh man.
I might have to miss a game, man.
Hey, listen. This is all allegedly. Reeboks, you guys are great. You know, this is a rant. This is a joke, a
Nah,
parody.
nah. Listen. Reebok, you got to come back and do us right, man. Come back. Let me see how the shoes feel now, because I'm
Hey,
sure you're not making them the same.
Shaq is a look. Engineers like that Reebok sponsorship is off the books. You motherfuckers done talk that shit into the ground. Um, hey, Shaq is he the president or what kind of ownership does he have?
I
Or
thought he
he owns
bought.
it?
Yeah, I
He
thought he
owns it.
bought it.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
bought it and made Iverson the president or something, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right, man. Um,
Yeah, we're gonna leave you alone, Reebok. We're gonna leave you alone.
yeah, I want to make sure I got it right. But man, I know there was some NBA since we're talking about a couple NBA guys.
Yeah.
Um, what you want to talk about in terms of the NBA? It was something about the Phoenix Suns, right?
Yeah. Them Phoenix Suns, man. We've uh we've already talked about what should happen after this year in terms of in the words of Denzel Washington, from Glory. Tear it up, tear it up. Contracts, tear it up. Team roster, tear it up.
Mm.
But as far as the direction that the Phoenix Suns should go in, um, so let me start by saying they are 10th overall. So if you're 10th in the West, and they're actually tied with the Dallas Mavericks, who I'm sorry, I saw Ubog's
Hey,
comment.
but you know what? I don't know if Bong is delayed, so I can't
Yeah.
tell what he's laughing at. If
Oh
it's
no,
like
he
what we
said it.
just
He said the Reebok stories.
oh, okay, okay.
Oh man. Um, so yeah, so they're in 10th place. They're tied with the Mavericks. Let me tell you, man, there was something where they were talking about the Mavericks may have to forfeit games if they didn't bring players back from injury. If that were to happen and the Phoenix Suns still didn't beat them to take 10th place in the Western Conference Finals, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Let me just start by saying that.
Mm,
No, I mean, because you lose Kyrie, you got Anthony Davis in his street clothes, and they're talking about shutting him down for the rest of the year. They trade Luca. The team is looking like a shadow of what we thought it could have been this year.
absolutely.
And for them to still manage to get into the play-in over the Phoenix Suns that have three All Stars. Now, Bradley Beal was once an All Star, so that's why I'm calling him an All Star. He wasn't an All Star this year, but he has been over his career.
Hmm.
So to have three All Stars and you still not make it in at number 10 over the Dallas Mavericks,
Mm.
that's not a good look, man.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Um, I mean, beyond that, it's just not a good look that they made the move to get those three together, and it's
Yeah.
not working out well. Um,
Let
but
me
what was
this
what was
for Bong.
but the stat that you said it was
The Suns are 13-3 when Devin Booker and Kevin Durant play in games without Bradley Beal. So in 16 games this season, the Suns have played with those two without Bradley Beal, and they've won 13 of them.
what, and then I was trying to get us to find what's the record with Bradley Bill, because
Yeah.
if the record with Bradley Bill is not shabby, then that's not really that's not really telling you that he's the issue. I think I saw what you're talking about, the stat that they rolled out with the 13 wins, the what 13-2 or whatever it was. That
Mhm.
was from a Suns, some sort of a Suns blog with Suns, Suns fans. That may be somewhat skewed because they're looking for stats for reasons to say Bradley Bill is the issue
Yeah.
because they're ready to move on from him. I don't know. If I could compare that to, overall this season, because I mean it's not the best record, but the only thing that I saw before we got on here was their overall record 54-47 all time when Bradley Bill plays.
And
But
it, and it's
that record doesn't tell you if Durant and Booker were on the court. You know what I mean? So
and it's funny because it's very like, and this is where stats become misleading because I said that stat, and then you look and it's like, well, Bradley Bill has played 48 games this season, and he started 33. So 15 games they decided he wasn't going to start. You look at his stats, he's shooting 50% from the field, he's shooting 40% from three, and he's shooting 81% from the free throw line. So if you look at that on a surface level, you're like, shit, he's doing all right. And he's
uh-huh.
and he's averaging 17 points. It's like,
Okay.
well, shit, maybe he needs to get more shots because he's making half his attempts. He's taking 13 shots. He's averaging 6.6 makes out of 13 shots.
Yeah. Um
And it's like, well, shit, what is the problem? from that perspective. So I do get it how it can be misleading.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that it's well, I don't think it could be all placed on Bradley Beal, you
I
know. Uh,
yeah, I don't I'm sorry.
he's an easy out of the three of them, he's the easiest target,
He
I would
is.
say,
He
because
is.
Durant is hooping.
Yeah.
Whether you like his leadership style or
Gotta
think
do
he's not a leader
gotta do this for
or
Ubong
whatever,
until you do right by me.
yeah, he's hooping. And then, when you think about um Devin Booker, he's just beloved. He's the guy that they think is the cornerstone of the franchise. So he's
Yes.
the guy that they would say you build around. So they're not going to blame Booker.
I think Booker's out of there though. Honestly.
He could
I
be,
think
but I'm saying from a fan's perspective, because what I
yeah,
said was I think where that came from was a skewed view from a fan who's ready to move on from Bradley Beal.
yeah. And they're not the
Because
one
give me some other numbers. Like they said that, but there's no mention of what's the record for any
games
of the
without
other
Kevin
two,
Durant.
or yeah,
Yeah,
any other combination. There was
yeah,
no other combination
yeah,
listed.
yeah.
So what do we have to compare it to? Like that's just saying one thing. Okay, that may be true, but does that paint the entire picture, dog? Like I don't think so.
The rumor is that yeah, could you highlight engineer's comment, his last one? Engineer says the Rockets will take Booker. You know what, engineer? That sounds real good. But what's gonna happen is
that,
that
that
Devin
that
Booker,
that sounds real good.
yeah, the rumor is that Devin Booker is going to the Detroit Pistons. That's the rumor. And if he
Booker to
goes
the Pistons.
Booker to the Pistons, and if the Pistons make that trade, Phoenix, you better get the Thompson twin. You bet
Mm,
you better get the Thompson. You better get him. You get some other guys, but one of those guys that come back better be a Thompson.
look here's Bong taking a shot. Apparently, if the Suns bring in Draymond Green, they'll be in the finals. Bong is taking a shot at some stuff
that we
we
said,
said the other day.
yeah,
We were talking about Draymond Green, and KP and myself said that Draymond Green is the leader of the Golden State Warriors, and I think KP went on to say if you and put take
mhm,
him and put him with the Suns, that he would
yeah.
they'd win it.
What I said, Bong, was if you take Draymond and add them to what they have, they'll win. I didn't say anything about taking anyone away. That I didn't say. But Devin Booker goes to Detroit next year. So yeah,
Okay,
you're hearing it here.
and,
That's the
and
rumor.
yeah,
That's the
but
rumor in
I
NBA
told
circles.
yeah, but that's your franchise guy, and I told you you ain't getting Detroit's franchise guy.
No, Kay Cunningham will not be leaving
Cunningham is
Detroit.
not. Nope, he is not in trade talks.
Yeah.
So you can forget that. Um,
Kay Cunningham this year is looking like the Kay Cunningham I thought he was going to be coming out of college as the one pick coming from Oklahoma State. This is what I thought. This is what I envisioned. Like, I was very, very high on Cade when he was first coming out. And I was like, damn, like,
I
yeah,
mean, Detroit was just kind of going through it, so I don't think you could completely put it on Cunningham. I
no,
didn't
it's
look
true.
at it as Cunningham stinks, but a lot of people were saying
I,
already trying to say that Cunningham was a bust. Like,
I,
dog,
I didn't I didn't think he was a bust, but I was looking
I'm
at
not
him.
saying
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
but there was bust talk.
Yeah.
There were people talking like, why were people so high on him? Like this is your king. Like it was that kind of talk. Like, nah, dog, chill out. Like he's cooking.
And it was because, well, and I was looking at it because it was always the conversations of like when they were in high school, who's the better player? Is it Cade Cunningham or is it Jalen Green? And so then when they got drafted in the same year, it was like Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green. You had Evan Mobley, you had Jalen Suggs. You pretty good draft class that came out, and it was like Jalen Green seemed to make the jump a little faster than everybody else in Houston, and so once that happened, I was expecting for Cunningham to level, like to be on that same level when Jalen Green first made the jump. I thought Cade Cunningham was going to do the same thing, and that's kind of what I was waiting on. And now I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing it, I'm like, yeah, Cade is
And I
the
mean,
problem.
is Jalen Green. I think he's had some inconsistencies this year. I know engineer rocking with the Rockets, right?
Yeah, Green is on the
Yeah,
Rockets.
yeah. So I'm wondering what your take is on Jalen Green. Are you saying you trade
Oh, he's oh
for
okay.
Draymond Green, or would you trade um for Jalen Green?
Yeah, Cade Cunningham for Jalen
Yeah,
Green.
yeah. That's what I'm wondering what that comment is for, because he says, I trade him for Green. So is that Draymond Green you're saying you'd make that trade, or you would pull the trigger on the Jalen Green for Devin Booker? Because Houston's going to ask for, Phoenix would ask for more than just Jalen Green. Okay. So he says Green plays like a top 5 player in stretches and then plays like an absolute doofus for a few games. And he's saying it would be Jalen Green. He would make the Jalen Green trade for Devin Booker. So that's kind of what I was saying. Like Jalen Green, there's been it seems like some inconsistencies, right?
Mhm.
He's a hooper. Like he definitely did take a leap forward.
Yeah,
So, and then he got his bread too. He got paid. Um,
and
so
started a family.
oh, here we go.
Got paid,
Hey, I
started.
don't know. Listen, I don't know about all. Hey, look, I keep it basketball, baby. I keep it to the court. I don't know what he's got going on with all the other stuff, but I heard a little something that what you're saying might be true. But I'm not gonna. It's neither here nor there.
Oh man.
So, but yeah, nah, he's a hooper though, dog. Like,
that's a that's a very sophisticated way of spelling a body part.
yeah, yeah. Do we look. Bong Bong says that's that Instagram model coochie. For those of you who spell coochie differently, here's another way for you.
Nah, Q.
She be having them young men going in circles. She got them going in circles. Oh, round and round they go. Oh man. But but yeah, man, I can't say that it's Bradley Beal solely. I'm not
Yeah.
willing to jump in and co-sign that just based on that 13-2 situation right there. Um so I'm out. Hey, I'm like hey, this is Shark Tank. Look, it's Shark Tank. You gave me that 13-2 stat. I'm not willing to say that I'm gonna jump in and agree with you. And for that, I'm out.
It's on you, Kevin. You know, so it's a really compelling argument. But when I look at his 50% from the field, his 40% from three, and his 81% from the free throw line to go with 17 points, and he's only taking 13 shots, which means he's efficient. It's a hard sell, and because of that, I'm out as well.
He's out. He's out. So, Ryder, it looks like you got one more option, and that's Bong. And unfortunately, he's not here on the panel to give you a yay or nay. So we're gonna have to curb this and revisit and see if he's gonna invest in what you got going here. So yeah, nah, I'm not rolling with that, dog. Um, but
But
I am with what you started with, which
that plan,
is yeah, like it's
yeah,
that's not a good look.
no,
That's not a good look.
no.
Um, so and how many games are left? We got to
Ooh,
be getting to single digits
10,
now.
10,
10?
10. Yeah, they played 72 games, so 10
Mm,
left. Yeah,
yeah. So bye bye Suns.
yeah.
Nah.
Bye bye, bye bye, Suns. I'm looking at the remaining games on the schedule.
Bye bye Suns.
Yeah,
Uh, anyway. All right, man. So once again, you know, good chatting with you, KP.
well, thank you, DP. You know the sun is setting on my face here, so we, we're gonna have to call it a day.
Yeah, it's getting to that. You know, it's always that time. Not always that time, but just like yesterday, it's getting to that time where I got to start making rounds to pick folks up from practices and stuff. So, um,
Absolutely.
got to go and get that done. But I think this time we may have Bong in the chat. I know he was driving. I know Bong was driving. Wait, hold on. Let's see. Guess who got the Suns picks? Oh, is it the Rockets?
Hey, I see you, Bong.
Oh,
I see
Bong,
you.
right on time. So, Bong, we always ask you to go ahead and let the people know what we need them to do. And Bong is in the chat, folks. We need y'all, as Bong has requested, to please like, share, and subscribe. The Holy Trinity. That's two fingers right there that he got up that saying peace, but KP, hold up that three for the three things that we need him to do. And yep, engineer said, guess who got the Suns picks? And I said, it must be the Rockets. And he was like, yep, Rockets got the Suns picks. So I know the Suns do that draft. They've done a lot of draft capital trades where they're
Mhm.
just swapping picks and stuff like that for players now, but that kind of backfired because the players and the rosters they put together didn't work out. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. But
And before we go, man, I want to shout out Engineer for being a loyal supporter, always tapping in.
yep,
When we go live, he always seems to find himself on the live and contributing. And shout out to Engineer, man, for hitting the gym, man.
yeah, yeah,
As men, man, we got to hit the gym, stay in shape. So
yeah.
yeah,
All right,
I'm gonna get on that treadmill today.
we waiting on that email, engineer.
Yeah.
Waiting on that email from you. So all right, y'all. Two peas in a bong. We out.
Peace.